What's going on, everyone? Welcome to this post-Thanksgiving update video for Saturday, December 10th, 2022. Today I thought we would do a short little video on where we were headed with the post-Thanksgiving surge. And first off, taking a look at the CDC community transmission map, you can see the majority of the country now is in high transmission, 72.28%. And the rest is either in substantial, moderate, or low transmission. Yesterday we had the variant proportion update. Let's run through that real quickly. BQ 1.1 is now at 36.8%. It is dominant. BQ 0.1 is at 31.1%. BA.5 is at 11.5%. BF.7 is at 5.7%. XBB did not grow much in the past week. It's at 4.7%. BN.1 is at 4.3%. BA 5.2.6 is at 1.7%. BA 0.4.6 is at 1.6%. BF 0.11 is at 0.8%. BA 0.2 still around again for another week is at 0.7%. BA 2.75 is at 0.6, and BA 2.75.2 is at 0.4%. Let's take a look at the cases here. Okay, here were yesterday's cases. Yesterday's cases, there were 42,307 cases, 222 new deaths. That's up 26% for deaths, and cases are up 30.8%. We've been watching hospitalizations rise. Let's pull up this chart here. And taking a look at historical hospitalizations. First off, here's the current surge right here. And if we go back, you can see what happened with the summer surge. It was a prolonged surge that started in spring and kept on rising all the way up into the middle of summer. That lasted a fairly long time. If you go back to last year, you can see there was a real sharp drop at the end of spring. Then it went up again summertime. Then it dropped. Didn't drop fully. Then it went up again in the winter season. And you can see here, right after November of last year, there was a sharp increase in hospitalizations. That was Omicron BA.1. But in between, we had the fall surge and the Thanksgiving surge. So look where we are now. You can see it's starting to go up, but it's not going up as fast as last year. But I do think what's going to happen right now is it's going to be continuing to rise in the hospitalization department, and it may, I don't want to say level off, but may slow off in the rate that it's rising. Then as soon as Christmas hits, directly afterwards, we will see a rapid rise. Not as rapid as last year, probably not as high as last year, for multiple reasons. Number one, maybe not as many people will end up in the hospital. Doubt that, though, because there's the combination. You have a combination going on. You have flu, you have COVID, you have RSV. So some people are getting flu and RSV. Well, that's not being added into this account. But the other bigger picture, and probably the more accurate reason, is there's not as much accurate reporting going on. We're actually, if you look at the HHS, which we will in a second, almost 1,000 hospitals are not reporting, which is just totally ridiculous. But yes, hospitalizations right now are definitely on the rise, and they're going to continue to rise. You may see them drop a little tomorrow and Monday. That's normal. That's weekend lag. But Tuesday and Wednesday, expect to see a significant rise again. In fact, I think by the end of this upcoming week, we could see hospitalizations over 40,000. Taking a look at cases here, you can see the cases are rising the most right now in the southern states and the western states. California is getting rather significant. And we're going to take a look at California hospitalizations in a minute. And matter of fact, let's pull them up now. California, you will see here, we'll look at the HHS version of this as well. Look what's going on with the hospitalizations. Back in November 6th, they were at 2,087. Now they are over 5,000. As of December 8th, they are rapidly rising. They have more than doubled in the last month. And mind you, we haven't gotten through Christmas, New Year's, Hanukkah, all those holidays and all the other ones in between. We have not gotten through yet. So this number is going to continue to rise. Could California hospitalizations get as high as last year? Last year they hit 15,950. I'm not certain they'll get that high for COVID, but I definitely want to say 10,000 could be in play for California. Just given that they've already doubled from last month, who's to say they won't double one more time with more holidays to go? And California probably will not stop rising. They will rise straight through. as the same can be said for New York State. Let's go over to New York State here. Let's take a look at their dashboard. New York State hospitalizations continue to rise. I'm going to actually zoom this out a little bit, but before we do so, the current number is 3,457, and the number of people in the ICU is continuing to rise as well. That's up to 325, which I believe is higher than their spring wave. Now let's go back to last winter. Last winter, New York State hospitalizations for coronavirus hit 12,674 at 12,671 at the peak. ICUs hit 1,593. I don't think they're going to hit that this year, but I do think they're going to at least go over 5,000, if not much higher than that. So still, we're not looking at last year's numbers, but at the same time, these are not acceptable numbers. These are numbers that are continuing to rise and numbers that are totally unacceptable. Let's go ahead over to Walgreens, shall we? Taking a look at Walgreens here. First thing that you'll notice here, there's a lot of green in the Northwest and there's some green in Alaska. Green means falling positivity. Then you look in the Southeast and you see, positivity is still rising. So it's kind of a mixed picture. You look at the plains, it's kind of flat. So you're definitely seeing a flattening in the positivity. And part of this has become, ever since the Omicron BA.1 surge, some of these surges have been much faster, with the exception to the spring and summer surge. That was a prolonged surge. But remember the fall? We didn't really have a big surge in the fall. We definitely had a period where the positivity was rising across a majority of the country. If we go back here to October, it did rise from the beginning of October up to the beginning of November. Then it leveled off ever so slightly. Then around middle of November, boom, up again. And now it's leveling off ever so slightly. I expect that to be the case probably for about the next week or so. As we get to the second half of the month, I expect this map to turn bright red again. So currently the positivity rate is 36.7%. Down in Florida, taking a look here, 34.8%. Texas has actually leveled off a little bit, maybe trying to start to go up again rapidly. I think it will. There's going to be some states that definitely probably just will not stop rising. Even though this show here shows New York State falling a little bit, I don't think their hospitalizations are going to stop rising. Same for New York, Texas, and California. They will continue straight through. But some of the Northwest region and the plains, you'll probably have to wait for second half of this month. Then they will really take off again. And some of that was the case last year. And check out Hawaii here. Something incredibly different is going on in Hawaii. Hawaii is on a track of its own. 44.7% positivity rate. They are now hitting their highest positivity rate ever. Only one test higher, but quite frankly, 38 tests in Hawaii, that's not enough. That's just another joke. The other thing we're seeing here is, and I can't show you this on Walgreens, but RSV in the south is showing signs of peaking. RSV in the north is continuing to increase. How about flu? This has not updated yet. I did see on the World News that they did have a more updated version of this, and apparently very high, which is maroon to purple. Very high is probably going to take over more states pretty soon. I'm just assuming it. I've been hearing an increase in flu calls on dispatch in Pennsylvania. Our flu numbers are definitely going up, and I've also heard increase in RSV dispatch calls. I actually heard one yesterday. I tweeted about this. 71 years old, RSV positive. So don't assume RSV is just for kids. What seems to be happening is kids are getting RSV, and then they're spreading it to other members of the household, and they are getting it as well. 71-year-old person yesterday I heard tested positive, and I guarantee you there's more calls like that, and I'm sure I will hear more calls like that. And a lot of people were chiming in yesterday in the comments saying, yes, we're hearing of cases or know of cases of older people getting RSV. And remember, there's not going to be an RSV vaccine for next year. So this brings up my ending point. Masks are not just for coronavirus. Masks are good for any other respiratory virus. Flu, RSV, the common cold, anything that's transmissible through droplets. Masks can help prevent the spread of that if you wear the correct mask, an N95. Alrighty? Thanks for watching this video. In ending, I have to say, it looks like things are going to continue to get worse in many states. Some states are going to level off, but as soon as the Christmas holidays, New Year's, all them hit, bombs away. It's going to explode again. January is going to be a really bad month. It's going to be a tough month, January. And that's going to continue for the most of January. We'll see the traditional drop in February. After that, we'll just wait and see what happens. Do we get the big spring surge again? Too early to say. But right now, I am very confident January is going to be a rough month. Numbers will be much worse than they are now. Alright, thanks for watching. Stay safe. And remember to hit the like and subscribe button down below.